Special webinar series on TPO. This will be a weekly series happening every Monday focused on CENTA International Teaching Professionals Olympiad, popularly known as TPO. Today is the 10th webinar of the series on decoding CENTA International TPO Middle School Social Science. I'm Shruti, lead for learning products at CENTA and one of the facilitators of today. And today, along with me, I have a very, very special guest with us who will be co-facilitating the webinar, Mrs. Jayashree Ashok Iyer. So before we move on to today's webinar, hi Jayashree ma'am. Before we move on to today's webinar, I would love to share a little bit about Jayashree ma'am. So Mrs. Jayashree is an advocate by profession, having 15 plus years of experience in various courts in Mumbai. Due to her love for teaching, she chose this profession and is currently working as a legal studies and social science teacher in Delhi Public School, which is DPS, Pune. She says that her school molded her as a teacher, and this has in turn contributed to her being a CENTA TPO 2021 topper with a subject rank 1 and international rank 2 in middle school social science track. I am proud to share that she is also a celebrated CENTA ambassador of ours. She has also been associated with NCRT training with respect to development of social science textbooks and other curriculum materials. Her qualifications include BLS, LLB, LLM, B.Ed, and C.TET, to name a few. In her free time, Mrs. Jayashree likes to sing and read spiritual texts. Welcome aboard, Jayashree ma'am. Super excited and happy to have you today co-facilitating the webinar.
Thank you, Shruti ma'am, for that introduction. I'm honored today to be here with all the teachers on the board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So like ma'am mentioned, there are so many of you, like all the teachers, right? I can actually see so many of you on the chat, and I can see that many of you have joined us from different parts of the country and maybe even outside. And many of you have joined well before the session event started. So super happy to see that. I would love to actually see if all of you can just put on the comment section quickly your name, the school you're from, and the city you're from maybe. We'll just take 30 seconds and all of you can just quickly enter that, introduce yourself to each other, and then let's get started with today's webinar. So as you all are doing this, I just have few things to announce, which I'd like to announce in the beginning itself. So many of you, end of the webinar, ask for the feedback form. Don't worry, towards the end of the webinar, the feedback form will be shared on the comment section. So you should be able to click on it and fill the feedback form. There will be no code for the feedback form. You should just be able to click on it or like copy paste the link and be able to fill the feedback form. Filling the feedback form will ensure you receive your record of participation. And second, please do put your questions on the comment section. We have a dedicated person to respond to all your queries that you have with respect to either the middle school social science track or any other track that you are applying for, registering for, and interested to register for. So please feel free to use the comment section to put down any of your questions or queries that you have. Great. I can see a lot of you sharing on the comment section, different parts of the country you're coming from, the schools you're coming from. Amazing. Great to see so many of you joining us today. Welcome aboard. Welcome, everyone. So like I mentioned, today's webinar is a 10th webinar in the series, and we will be focusing on middle school social science in today's webinar. But before we deep dive into the subject itself, I just want to take a minute or two to talk a little bit about CENTA International TPO itself. So as many of you might know, the first edition of the CENTA TPO was in 2015. And we are proud to be hosting the 8th edition of CENTA International TPO this year, in the 8th year of CENTA's existence. The CENTA TPO was started because CENTA is fundamentally about creating reward, recognition, and career growth opportunities for teachers. However, when you look at career growth, it happens over a longer period of time. All of you would know that it's not something that happens instantly when you're a teacher. right? So we wanted to introduce something that will lead to immediate reward and recognition for competent teachers. And the purpose of CENTA TPO was to actually have an annual competition where teachers can compete in a large scale forum and actually showcase their competencies and get rewarded immediately for the same. We have been fortunate over the years to have distinguished partners like Reliance Foundation, Education World, and others who support us and provide rewards and recognitions for winning teachers. So, coming to today's webinar, in today's webinar, we will cover four main things. Number one, overview of CENTA International TPO, just a little bit about TPO, the journey of TPO at CENTA, details of prelims, the format, mark scheme, competency covered, etc. Some of the details of the TPO prelims. The most important part, which is unpack CENTA TPO middle school social science questions using sample questions. We will be using sample questions that have been used in the actual TPO prelims and be unpacking them and deconstructing them to see why the correct answer is the correct answer, why the incorrect answers are incorrect. And Jayashree ma'am will be helping us in this and she'll be taking over that section. And finally, we'll look at a little bit of how to prepare for the CENTA International TPO. This is a question that we often hear. So this year we've tried to address that a little bit. So we will be covering that in the end. So on that note, let's get started with today's webinar. So in 2015, CENTA TPO was in International Teaching Professionals Olympiad, was in 7 cities. Cut to 2019, we are now in 75 cities and 2 countries. And in 2022, we are now fully online and international. In 2015, we only had 9 subject tracks in the TPO. And now in 2022, we have 37 subject tracks. Some of them also including subjects like primary school EVS, Hindi language, co-curricular, and more. From 2015 to 2020, we only had multiple choice questions in the test. Then very soon we realized that just MCQs, testing a competency, doing a competency test may not suffice, and which is why we started another component as part of the TPO prelims, which is called the video assessment or the verbal communication test. We will talk a little bit more about each of these components in the upcoming slides, but I just want to talk a little bit about the progression that TPO itself has made over the years. So in a nutshell, TPO 2022 is fully online. There are 2 stages. There's the prelims and the toppers get invited to the finals. It's fully international. And it's a 2-hour test for prelims with 50 MCQs and 2 short videos that will have to be submitted. I'll just pause here for a minute so that all of you can have a look, and then we'll move on to the next slide. Great. Okay, so now coming to the TPO prelim format, right? So the TPO prelims, like I mentioned, has 50 MCQ questions and 2 videos, and is it a total of 100 marks. Out of this, the multiple choice questions itself accounts for 50 questions and 75 marks. And the verbal communication test accounts for 2 questions and they are a total of 25 marks. Now let's further break down the multiple choice questions test. So this has a total of 4 sections, starting from subject expertise, which are 20 questions for 30 marks. Then there's something called a subject pedagogical content knowledge, which are 8 questions for 10 marks. These are basically pedagogy questions on the subject that you're attempting the TPO in. Then there's common pedagogy. These are common across tracks that you take. And then there's professional competencies. So common pedagogy is 12 questions for 20 marks. Professional competencies are 10 questions for 15 marks. So this is about the multiple choice question test. Now and we will be looking at samples at least for the subject specific parts in today's webinar. Coming to the verbal communication test, there are two videos that you have to submit. Video 1, which is subject specific verbal evaluation, it's one question for 15 marks. And video 2, which is subject agnostic verbal evaluation, which means it is not based on your subject, it's just to test basic communication skills in general, one question for 10 marks. So again, I'll just pause for a second here so that whoever wants to take this in can look at the format in totality, and then we'll move on to the next section of today's webinar. So if you have any questions regarding any of this, please feel free to put it on the comment section. It will be addressed. And if you feel like your question was not addressed, please do write to us at team@centa.org. We will ensure that we respond to whatever query you have. Okay, so I spoke about the format. So I also want to give you a quick flavor of what it looks like, what the test framework or the test, environment actually looks like. So let's come to the multiple choice question for paper first. So like I said, 50 questions, 90 minutes or 1.5 hours. If you see below, that's what the screen looks like for the MCQ test. It's on a platform called Aon. And you can see very clearly that the candidate name is not revealed. Only the candidate ID is revealed. You can see that there's a big timer there, which times the test. So you don't have to worry about carrying a watch or timing it yourself because it gets timed. It clocks in from the time you start the test, right? And you can see all the sections are there on the left side. You can see the question and the options, everything on the screen. Excuse me. And as you can see, you can click on the correct answer and move on, and you can also shift between sections. Coming to the next part of the TPO prelims, which is the verbal communication test. So like I mentioned, there are two videos, video 1 and video 2. Both you will get 5 minutes to prepare and then 5 minutes to present. And as you can see, video 1 is for 15 marks, video 2 is for 10 marks. And this will happen on Zoom breakout rooms. So you will be joining a Zoom meeting and completing the test. Great. So that is about the TPO prelims. Now coming to the partners of the TPO. I'm sorry, just give me a minute. So all the partners this year bring many interesting awards. So before we move on to the rewards and the awards that the partner bring, let me talk a little bit about the partners of this year's TPO. So our partners so far are Reliance Foundation, which is the presenter of this initiative in association with Education World. Reliance Foundation and Education World are our primary partners. We also have additional partners like the University of Buckingham, University of California, Santa Cruz, Oxford University Press, Inspirit, VR, Firki, and many other additional partners, as you can see on the screen. I would also like to introduce some of our other partners over the years. These include Bharti Foundation, Think Startup, Central Square Foundation, Varki Foundation, Lenovo, Michael and Susan Dell, Pearson, T4, The Hindu, HCL, and many more. We are grateful for their support over the years. Like I mentioned, all the partners bring many interesting prizes and rewards, some of which are listed on the screen. The Reliance Foundation Teacher Awards are given every year to the winners of the CENTA TPO. As you can see, this is cash awards worth INR 20 lakhs. I do want to point out, however, that this award is specifically for the teachers participating from India. We also have a lot of other awards which are open to others. We have premium training opportunities from Oxford University Press, University of Buckingham, and UCSC and CENTA itself. Oxford University Press has training programs affiliated with Oxford University. University of Buckingham has projects where winners will get the opportunity to be mentored on a short research project by professors along with a certificate of teaching excellence. UCSC is offering curated trainings and enrollment into their summer program in California. Inspirit is providing access to a one of a kind software suite, which is a 3D and VR toolkit specifically for science toppers. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of different professional development and growth opportunities that have been included in the prices this year. Coming to education world, they will be providing media recognition for winning teachers and the schools with the maximum number of winners. We also have exclusive opportunities by Tata Institute of Social Science, which is TIS for toppers from B.Ed colleges. Also, I want to point out that winners will be receiving digital badges, certificates, and a fully confidential scorecard. So, unless you have registered on behalf of your school or institution or from their side, your scorecard is fully confidential and personal only to you. So it's up to you if you decide to share it with anyone or put it out there in social media, but it's going to be fully confidential and personal. So in a nutshell, this is what CENTA TPO is about: to reward, recognize, and celebrate the teaching profession. We are very thankful that a large number of partners, be it corporate, government, legends like Brian Lara or Professor Fernando Reimers from Harvard, have been supporting this initiative over the years. Also, for teachers like many of you who have been participating year after year, very grateful for this support and grateful that we are able to bring this to the profession. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we have a very special guest here today with us, which is Jayashree ma'am. She herself is an inspiring example of someone who switched professions, got into teaching, and has actually emerged as a topper in the CENTA TPO with a subject and an international rank as well. So, and that too in the middle school social science track that she is going to be facilitating today. So, I'm sure a lot of fellow teachers here would aspire to actually win an award just like Jashri ma'am has. So, which is why, Jayashree ma'am, we would love to hear your experience of taking the TPO, the prep you did, and what was the impact it had over your professional life. And once you share that with us, you can take over to the most interesting section of today's webinar, which is the sample questions. So, over to you, Jayashree ma'am. And I apologize for a little bit of my coughing in between to all the participants. Sorry about that. Over to you, Jayashree ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. So, I just have to tell you that giving this exam is not that tough. You just have to be present at the moment and use your subject knowledge and the way you take class in the classroom. It is as simple as it is. So, I appeared for this TPO 2021 and I got my best course in middle school social science subject track, and this secured this rank 1 in national level and rank 2 in international level. I decided to write the TPO for a specific track because my organization, Delhi Public School Pune, believes in upgrading the teaching skills and the subject knowledge of every teacher so that the students are benefited and learning outcomes are achieved. So for preparation, all I used was lot of center resources, which is free of cost. So you can also use the self-paced learning course. Now, some self-paced learning course, it is for free. Some you have to pay some minimum amount like 199 or 299 there. And right now, even I'm doing the rubric creation and subjective assessment. So, last but not the least, I would highly recommend you all to watch all the webinars of CENTA and register for the upcoming webinars, as all these resource like content development planning and classroom communication will help you to attempt the common pedagogy section, which is for 20 marks, and the verbal communication, which is for 25 marks. So achieving best course in CENTA, it has a positive impact on me as it created curiosity to learn more and give my best in the school I work for. What I have learned myself in my journey as a teacher is to have the right approach towards the teaching learning process. So I would recommend everyone to write TPO, as it provides a good opportunity to assess your subject knowledge and helps you in professional development and also in the personal development as a teacher. We teachers actually play a very, very important role in creating the future leaders, so we can always go beyond boundaries to learn and to inculcate the effective teaching skills by using all the resources and also the daily updates which is provided by CENTA. So question of the day and the free learning resources, use take maximum out of it, because it's going to help you a lot in attempting the questions. Now, let's have a look at the CENTA TPO sample questions, so that this will effectively help you in, giving your best during the upcoming days in your exams. So, I request you to log in into www.menti.com and enter the passcode 768 71070. I repeat, log into www.menti.com and enter the passcode 768 71070. We would wait here for a few minutes so that everybody is able to log in. So if you're able to log in, please give a thumbs up in the comment section so that I'm sure that you all have logged in. Passcode 768 71070. I'm expecting few thumbs ups there if you're able to log in, so that we can start with the sample questions there. Yes, Usha ma'am has said yes, she is able to log in. Waiting for more responses. Thank you, Pooja ma'am. Rama ma'am, are you able to log in? Thank you, Samira ma'am. Yeah, we are waiting for more responses. Yeah, Meenakshi ma'am says that she is able to join. Great. Madhushnatha ma'am, are you able to log in? Yeah, now we will be doing it. Okay. Now we'll start with our first question. I hope you all are able to see the question. Now I read out the first question, which is from the section Subject Expertise. The topic is related to civics, constitution, and the level is grade 8. First question. In India, the Planning Commission of 1950 was set up for which of the following primary policies? I repeat the question again. In India, the Planning Commission of 1950 was set up for which of the following primary policies? I give you a clue also. Pick out the key word from the question. Option A, to design and execute healthcare policies. Option B, to design and execute economic policies. Option C, it redefined the nature of justice a citizen is entitled to. Option D, it redefined the nature of polity that India is. I repeat the option. To design, option A is to design and execute the healthcare policies. Option B, to design and execute economic policies. Option C, it redefined the nature of justice as a citizen is entitled to. And option D, it redefined the nature of polity that India is. Now, go for the correct option. I told you, I gave you a clue. Yeah, I can see there 10 responses towards the B option. Yeah, votes are increasing now. 13 votes for option B, that is to design and execute the economic policies. I'm just waiting few seconds more. There we go. Excellent. So we can see actually four votes for option C, and for option B we have 16 votes there, and for A 1, and for D 2 votes there. 17, 18, the count is increasing. Yes, teacher, now it's the time to crack the right answer. You all were correct by guessing it so rightly that it is option B, that is to design and execute economic policies. Now let's have a quick look at why option B, why not A, C, and D. So option B, that it is like after independence, Nehru had set up the Planning Commission in 1950 to formulate economic policies and bring about a welfare states, which includes the socio-economic policies. The first 5-year plan focused on agriculture more than industry, like which was focused more in the second 5-year plan. Now, why not option A? Option A is incorrect, as the healthcare policies or services, they were not a priority in the first 5-year plan. And option C, again, it is incorrect, as the rights of the citizens was not a plan of these plans. The 5-year plans did not deal with the constitutional amendments as such. And then again, option D is also incorrect, as the 5-year plans did not deal with the constitutional amendments or India's government system. So the correct answer is option D. Okay. We'll go to now the second question. Now, those who have already logged in, please stay back. And those who are going to log in now, again, I'll repeat that www.menti.com. Please log into this and then enter the passcode 768717070. Now, let's go to the second question. Second question, it is from the section subject expertise, and the topic is related to earthquakes. Level is grade 7. Now, the second question is, in which of the following states is it most relevant for schools to implement regular training sessions and mock drills for safety measures to be taken during an earthquake? So I repeat the question once again. In which of the following states is it most relevant for schools to implement regular training sessions and mock drills for safety measures to be taken during an earthquake? Option 1, that is option A, Karnataka. Option B, Gujarat. Option C, Kerala. Option D, Andhra Pradesh. I repeat the option once again. Option A, Karnataka. Option B, Gujarat. Option C, Kerala. Option D, Andhra Pradesh. The time starts now, so you can start giving the right answers. Wow, that's great. I can see that one vote for Gujarat, 4 for Kerala there. Oh, it's increasing. It's 2 for Gujarat. Teachers pick up the right keyword from the question and then crack the answer. That's the only trick. You look for the keyword in the question and then related to that, you choose the best answer. No, now it has become equal. Okay, yeah, Gujarat, I can see 8. 8 votes for Gujarat and 6 votes for Kerala and 2 votes for Andhra Pradesh. 10 votes for Gujarat. There is 11 votes for Gujarat now and 7 votes for Kerala and 2 for Andhra Pradesh. Now, I guess it's the time for us to look at the correct answer. So, it is as mentioned by you all rightly. I can see now 13. So 13 votes for Gujarat. That's absolutely right. So option B, Gujarat, is the correct one, as Gujarat experiences more earthquakes as compared to the other states, which is given in the option. So because Gujarat is located in an earthquake prone zone, as it is close to the intersection of two tectonic plates, that is the Indo-Australian plate and also the Eurasian plate, that slide under each other. So now you may have a question, why not A, C, and D? So option A, C, and D are in the southern region of India, which is far away from the intersection of the tectonic plates, and hence they are not prone to the earthquakes. Okay, now it's time for us to crack the right answer for question number 3. Before that, again, a small reminder to log into the www.menti.com if you have just joined, and also enter the passcode, which is 768717070. Passcode 7687170 and 70. Great. Now it's time for us to have a look at the question number 3, which is from the section of subject pedagogical content knowledge, and the topic is related to the civil rights movements, which is in civics. Level is grade 7. Now this is a classroom situation. Now Miss Diksha is going to introduce civil rights movements around the world to her class. Which of the following questions will give her the best indication of her students' preparedness for the lesson on civil rights movement? I repeat again, which of the following questions will give her the best indication of her students' preparedness for the lesson on civil rights movement? Now the options are: option A, describe examples where you have seen boys and girls being treated differently. Option B, why did our freedom fighters want the British to leave the country? Now, option C, give 2 examples of stereotyping you have seen around you. Option D, what is the meaning of voting for a representative? I repeat the options quickly once again. Describe examples where you have seen boys and girls being treated differently. Option B, why did our freedom fighters want the British to leave the country? Option C, give 2 examples of stereotyping you have seen around you. Option D, what is the meaning of voting for a representative? So check for the keyword in the question. So the keyword in the question would be the lesson on civil rights movement. So it is an introduction of that particular topic. Now, which kind of question will be more relevant? Which one will indicate the students' preparedness in this? So, if the teacher just wants to introduce the topic of civil rights movements in the class, what kind of the questions will give her the best indication? What kind of question she can possibly ask to give her the best indication of her students' preparedness for the lesson on civil rights movement? What kind of question can be asked in the classroom? Please read the questions. I'll also hear the question carefully. The keyword, it is introduction of civil rights movement. Like the topic is freshly going to be introduced in the class. Introduce the civil rights movement, and what kind of question she can just put up. Imagine yourself, you're the teacher, and the first question, what would be the one you will be asking in the class? I can see many votes for why did the freedom fighters. So it is grade 7. You should also compare the level, like grade 7 children. And now the introduction is going to happen in the class with respect to the civil rights movements. Okay, I can see 3 votes for A option and 9 votes for the B option, and C 3 votes and 6 votes for the D option. Okay, I can see that ten votes for now, the 10 votes for the B option. Why did our freedom fighters want the British to leave our country? So we are talking about civil rights movements, civil rights. Check the question very carefully. Okay, now it's the time for us to check the right answer there. So the right answer would be answer A, the option A. That is, describe examples where you have seen boys and girls being treated differently. Now, you may ask, like, why? How is it possible? So, A is correct because I told you it is an introduction of the topic. It's like a beginning of a lesson on the topic for grade 7. So, the first step should be going into any topic we take, it is the root cause of various movements. So in this case, the movements on you can say equal gender rights. Now option B, why the option B would be incorrect is that this will not go into the civil right movements as such and its sociological origin. Now if you see option C, now this is not at all relevant to the civil right movements. And then option D, this will not be directly related to the civil rights movement. So therefore we conclude by saying that the option A is correct, that is, describe examples where you have seen boys and girls being treated differently, because that is one of the civil right too. Yeah, so now let's go to the next question. The last 2 questions, quickly we'll have a look at it so that it would help you in the upcoming exams. So again, one small reminder. So there we go, www.menti.com. You will log into this and then enter the passcode of 768717070. I repeat the passcode. It is 768717070. Okay, now we are in the fourth question. Fourth question is from the section Subject Pedagogical Content Knowledge. Topic is related to the natural physical features. The level is grade 7. Now, which of the following learning objectives will lead students to apply the concept of ocean currents? So, we need to apply the Bloom's taxonomy here. Which of the following learning objectives will lead students to apply the concept of ocean currents as per Bloom's taxonomy? Option A, describe how shipping companies use the knowledge of ocean currents. Option B, demonstrate the effect of heat and wind speed on ocean currents. Now, option C, explain the factors that affect ocean currents. Option D is make a model to show the difference in ocean currents in both hemispheres. Quickly, I'll go through these four options. You have to apply as per Bloom's taxonomy. The learning objective is for application. So option A is describe how shipping companies use the knowledge of ocean currents. Option B, demonstrate the effect of heat and wind speed on ocean currents. Now option C is explain the factors that affect ocean currents. And option D is make a model to show the difference in ocean currents in both the hemispheres. Pick out the keyword from the question. So it is application based, will lead the students to apply the knowledge. Apply the concept of ocean currents. They have to apply the concept of ocean currents. Great, I can see. Okay. One vote for A. Oh, there it increased to 2. And 4 votes for D, which is make a model. And A is describe how shipping companies use the knowledge of ocean currents. So if you are little much well versed with the Bloom's taxonomy, you can just pick out the keywords from the options itself. There are few keywords in which you can say, okay, apply in Bloom's taxonomy means that this particular keyword reads the application of the question. I can see 4 for A and 5 for D, and B is 2. Come on, friends, let's crack the right answer now. It's the time for us to crack the right answer. So the right answer would be option A here. Because how the question, the option, the keyword given in the A option is that describe how shipping companies use the knowledge of ocean currents. Like the students will put themselves in the shoes of the shipping companies and understand how they can use the knowledge of the ocean currents, as currents they do affect ships during voyages, and a ship streaming against the current will need to use more fuel to maintain a required speed. So a ship steaming with a current will save fuel and can proceed at an increased speed. So describe how shipping companies use the knowledge of ocean currents would be the correct answer. Now, why option B, C, D is incorrect? Because option B, this will check for understanding of ocean currents. Here, they are not applying the concept of ocean current to the specific question, as is usually the case in case of application question. They do apply it. And then option C, again, this will check for understanding because the word explain is mentioned there. And option D, this will check for the analytical skills, like one step higher in case of Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom's taxonomy always learn those keywords which frames up a question. Okay. And then now let's go to the last question, which is very interesting here. Before that, again, a small reminder, go to www.menti.com. The passcode would be 768-71070. So I'm sure that everybody has logged in. This is only for those who have just logged in. Now let's go to the Next question, which is the last question from the section subject pedagogical content knowledge. The topic related to civics, and grade is the level, the level is grade 6 now. A student in class says, after monarchies end, they are replaced by democracies, just like how it happened in India. Which of the following types of reasoning is the student using while making this statement? Now you have to just read this question again. What the student is saying: after monarchies end, they are replaced by democracies. Now again, what she is doing, she's saying that just like how it happened in India. So she is little precise. And now, which of the following types of reasoning is the student using while making this particular statement? A, inductive reasoning. B, deductive reasoning. C, cause effect reasoning. D, reductive reasoning. I read the options quickly once again: inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, cause effect reasoning, reductive reasoning. Try to focus on the keyword which is there just in the conversation, what the student is trying to say there. She is trying to quote a particular example. What is the kind of reasoning when the student says like that, like how it happened in India? Cause and effect reasoning, I can see that. Okay, deductive reasoning, I've got one vote there. So we are specific in asking this: what type of reasoning is used by the student when the student is quoting an example and telling that after this monarchies and they are replaced by democracies. That is a general statement. And then comes just like how it happened in India. Okay, inductive reasoning, I can see 2 votes for that, and 1 vote for deductive reasoning, and 10 votes goes for cause effect, and then 2 votes for reductive reasoning. Okay, so now I think it's the time for us to check the correct answer. So let's see the correct answer. Let's crack the correct answer is inductive reasoning is the correct answer, because this, I told you, just pick up the keyword from the question, because this student is using a specific example like fall of the British Empire in India to arrive at a general conclusion that when empires fall, they are replaced by democracies. So therefore the option A would be correct. Now, why not option B, C, D, which is deductive, cause and effect, and reductive reasoning? Now, option B, deductive, is incorrect because it would involve the students using a general theory and then to conclude a specific case, like monarchies are replaced by democracies to a specific case. That is why the British Empire in India was replaced by the democratic system. Now this is exactly the opposite of inductive reasoning, so B is incorrect. And now coming to option C is incorrect, because there the fall of empire is not the cause for establishment of democracy in India, so it's like the effect. Now option D, it would be incorrect, because to use reductive reasoning means that student must be able to show that their statement is true, because if they were not true, then maybe an absurd results will follow. So for example, if monarchy is not replaced by democracy, it will lead to anarchy. So an absurd result. So therefore option D is also incorrect. So option C, I can see many votes for option C, but that is incorrect only because there is no as such the cause and effect involved, because the fall of empire is not cause for establishment of democracy in India? So these five questions, I'm sure that these kind of interpretation of the question is very important when we come to answering of questions. So interpretation is very important. Picking up a right word from the question given, that is also very much important. And now comes the section for video subject specific verbal evaluation, which is for 15 marks. So here you have to choose any one of the following topics for introduction in your classroom. Always remember, it is for introduction. Like, how would you take it up when a, a student doesn't have any kind of a knowledge with respect to that, or to check what the preparedness of the student, how would you introduce this thing in the classroom? Now you can take any of these topics. These are all examples like King Ashoka and spread of Buddhism, water cycle and ocean currents, tradition of Orientalism. So these topics, any one you can choose. And when you are having this video session, you can also have some kind of colorful charts next to you, or you can use some teaching aids, which you generally, the topics which you would be getting here is subject specific. So therefore you must be using some kind of technique in your classroom. So therefore, if you're using some teaching aid, ensure that you can also present it during the video session. And then comes the video 2, which is related to the subject agnostic verbal evaluation. Now any one of the following topics, and you can share your thoughts. It is based on the common understanding of different pedagogies which is used in the classroom. So does the first one is does use of technology affect student learning? Now as teachers, we all are aware, like we have gone through 2 years of this online coaching. So we know that what is the effect of technology, whether it has affected the student learning or not. So we can deeply brief ourselves with that, and then present our understanding related to that. And what steps can you take if parents of a student are not attending the scheduled parent teacher meetings? And the third topic, when should skill based education begin for students? So all these, whenever you're answering these things, ensure that you're keeping in mind the holistic development of a student in this. So this is all about the video session. Now I guess Shruti ma'am is back to brief more about how to prepare further, and how to register, and how to go about it. I hope that the questions were very useful, and it gave you a right interpretation and understanding. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jayashree ma'am. I think, I was watching and seeing how you were so patiently taking everyone through the question multiple times, so clearly and patiently answering each of the questions, the insights for why they're correct, why they're incorrect. And it was fun at the same time. So I hope everybody, along with just the questions, also take away the fact that TPO is a fun assessment. It really, makes your brain work and puts it to exercise and helps you answer a lot of the questions. So thank you so much, Jayashree ma'am, for joining us in today's webinar. And please do stay in the session till we get to the end. And maybe you can only share the surprise that we have at the end, which is your coupon code. But we'll come to that in a minute. Thank you so much, Jayashree ma'am. Okay, so now we'll just quickly wrap up with a solution for how to prepare for CENTA International TPO. Now that we covered so much throughout today's webinar about the TPO itself, how do I prepare for my specific track, right? So very simple. This time we have introduced a page called the TPO Resource Page. The link is on the screen. You can also find it in the comments section. It is your one-stop shop for everything you need to prepare for TPO. So starting from sample questions across subjects, just like what we covered today. Today we only covered 5 questions. But if you go to the TPO resource page, you can find sample questions across different sections of the TPO, all 4 sections of the TPO, there are sample questions. Live webinars, so webinars like this and upcoming webinars, you can find details of all of this on this page, and also watch recordings of past webinars. That's why the recorded webinars are also other free learning resources. There's also guides on how to prepare for the CENTA International TPO, instruction manual for how to do the MCQ test, how to come prepared for the verbal communication test, and also Curious Corner and short, basically, which has short, tiny resources that you can quickly go and read up and brush your skills on, pedagogical skills on. And these are also in Hindi, not just English, but also in Hindi, the resources, and many, many more. So every day, every week, we're going on updating this page with more and more interesting and useful resources that can help you prepare better for the TPO. So please do go check this page out. So that's about preparing for the international TPO. Now, coming to the last point, which is how to register for the CENTA International TPO 2022. Very simple, just 3 steps. Go to the link provided on the screen. The same will be provided in the comment section for you. Click on register now. When you go to this form, you will see a button, blue button called register now. Click on it. There is a small form that you need to fill. Please fill the registration form and you just have to then submit and pay. And one interesting thing, which is also the surprise, and like I said, Jayashree ma'am is here with us today. She's also our ambassador. She's also offering all of you a 10% discount if you register for the CENTA International TPO. So her code is JI10. So as you can see on the screen, so when in the coupon code section, you can actually enter her coupon code, which is JI10, and you can avail a 10% discount when you're registering for the TPO. So please feel free to use this coupon code, and thank you Jayashree ma'am for being here and also sharing your coupon code with everyone for them to also get a discount. So would request everybody who's interested and who's now energized to take up the TPO to actually go ahead and register and use this coupon code. So I'll stay for another 2 minutes on the screen so that everybody who wants to quickly go through the steps and look at the coupon code and apply it have the time to do so. The same information is also available on the comments section. So the coupon code is available there. So you can also find it there. And you can also see it on your screen. Great. So that brings us to the end of today's webinar. Thank you so much to everyone who joined today's webinar. Thank you, Jayashree ma'am, for making time and taking everybody through this fun, interactive session and also sharing a lot of your insights from your experience of the TPO and also sharing your coupon code for everybody to get a 10% discount. And thank you to all the participants for attending today. We hope you leave today's webinar with a lot of great learnings, insights, and also a 10% discount. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Jayashree ma'am, anything you want to say to end?
Thank
And then
you.
we can close.
Yeah, I would just like to say that the TPO, it helps you in your professional and personal development. As I mentioned earlier, it also peps you up with the good action research project, which is also sponsored by CENTA in the Buckingham University. So that's great. So I encourage all of you to take part in it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, like ma'am mentioned, these are one of the many benefits that you get when you win the TPO. So when you're a topper, so please do register in big numbers and hope to see many of you there. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank
Good
you,
evening.
everyone.